guys. I got a piece of glitter or something on my face. Okay. Um, I just want to talk about something really quickly that I always talk about on my channel, but I kind of want to give an explanation of why I actually talk about this so much on my channel. Um, I'm sorry, give me just 2 seconds. My husband just texted me. Okay, there we go. Okay, and it's why do I talk about not watching or why do I talk about why it's so important for you not to what you're putting into your soul and what you're watching on TV, and why do I say not to watch reality TV shows and even movies and stuff like Pretty Woman, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know. I guess when I first came to Christ, I didn't know how serious watching stuff like that was until God started to reveal to me why that was so, why it was so horrible to watch, movies like Pretty Women or watch reality TV shows. I'm like, I'm saved. I'm a Christian, that stuff is not going to taint me. That stuff is not going to bother me. I know what's right and what's wrong. I could still watch it. It's just entertainment value. What's the big deal? All right. But then whenever I came to Christ, and I was still watching reality TV shows, I was still listening to raunchy music, I started to think about those things. Like they started to clash. Those thoughts of those TV shows and those songs and things like that started to clash with what God had put in me, like with His Word, and starting to think about Him, and they didn't coincide with each other. And what I mean by that is, like, let's just say I talked about this before. Let's just say I was watching a reality TV show, and on the show, the woman was being very disrespectful to her husband. The husband was out cheating again. He was out drinking and all of this stuff. You start to think about those things. You start to think about their life, and then you start acting like them without even knowing it. You start treating your husband like that before you know it, and you don't, in other words, you don't want to constantly bombard your thoughts with thoughts of adultery and cheating and just, for instance, Pretty Woman, the guy, even though it's a beautiful love story, on from the outside looking in, but if you really take your time and look at that movie, they're engaging in premarital sex. He's paying a girl, a prostitute on the street, which is against the Bible, to sleep with him, or to be his woman for the week. They're sleeping together and everything, You really got to take the time to look into movies, and a lot of movies that we thought were harmless are filled with filth. They're filled with filth. They really are. The girls are dressing like they're not supposed to, like not godly at all. You've really got to look into movies, and I don't, sometimes it'll be a movie that's advertised to be a clean faith movie. Um, and the girl is dressing like a harlot in the movie. But I don't know. You really, you really, 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 really got to look into those movies and use the Holy Spirit when it comes to those movies. Because I'm telling you, when you start thinking about those movies and start thinking about those thoughts and start acting like them, that's where it becomes the problem. Um, and just something, God puts something in you that you have no desire to watch those movies anymore. You really don't know how serious it is until God really brings it out to you, because from the outside looking in, you're thinking, like the world thinks, I can still watch zombie movies, The Walking Dead and all of this stuff. It's not going to taint me, it's not going to hurt me. But that's not true, because now you have God inside of you. You have the Holy Spirit living in you. Jesus and God have made a temple inside of your body, inside of your soul. Um and you think that now that God resides inside of you, he wants to watch that. It's just like It's just like when you watch those things, you're feeding your temple, you're feeding your soul. Um, and God does not want to sit there. Just imagine this, just picture this. Let's just say Jesus comes back today, right? He comes back and you're watching a reality TV show. How can you justify, or how can you tell Jesus, what, that you weren't, what, how can you justify that I was watching this show? You can't, your mouth is going to be open. You're not going to know what to say. Um, if he came back today and you're watching that and you're engaging in that, in that filth. Um, we shouldn't even be glorifying, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack on this, but you shouldn't even be glorifying sports or watching TV where everybody's getting intoxicated with glorifying man, that, because that's what you're really doing. You're glorifying men when you're watching football or when you're watching basketball on TV. Those men that are sitting there clapping and doing all of those glory dances and all of those crazy, all of that stuff, that's glorifying man. So we need to stop doing that. We really need to stop doing that, guys. And I just had to come on here and say that, because even when you come to Christ, people still think it's okay to still watch those shows and to listen to that trash music. But when you really take the time to listen to them, and when you really take the time to look into those shows, it's filth. It's filth. There's not really many shows or TV or movies that we can really watch that will not be feeding your soul trash, that don't have the devil all in it. Those movies are not looking to save your soul. They're looking to make money. They're looking to get as many views as they can get so that they can make money. That's all those movies are truly about. Money. That's it. They don't care about whether if you're saved or not, or whether if they need to put out good stuff or not. They don't care. They're going to put out what sells, and sex sells. I know you guys have all heard that. Sex sells because it's true. Sex rules the world. Money rules the world. And if we're going to be sitting there as believers watching that stuff, we're in the world. We support the world. If we're sitting there watching that TV, that trash, we're in the world. We really are. And it's something that I had to struggle with. I still keep my TV off till this day, because there's not really much that you can watch on TV that's clean. You really can't. Now they allow for people to cuss on cable, on TV, on regular TV. You know, um, there's not very much that you can watch that you're not going to be feeding your soul with, that trash. The devil, the works of the devil, because the devil has his hands all in those worldly shows. He does. So my biggest suggestion would be, definitely listen to the Holy Spirit. And if your spirit is not feeling okay about what you're watching, don't watch it. If your thoughts are constantly on what you just watched, the trash you just watched, turn it off. Don't continue to have those thoughts, because that you're going to continue to feed your soul with trash. You really are. Really watch what you're saying, because it's going to reflect in you. It really is, in your thoughts, in your actions, and in your soul. And I'm telling you, God does not want to sit there and listen to trash music. God has made a temple inside of you. He wants to use you. He wants your time so that he can teach you him, so that you can come closer to him, draw closer to him. Love him, have his heart to do a work for him in his kingdom. We can't be wasting our time on things that are not going to edify the kingdom, that are not going to edify you, that are just going to bring you down. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.